Do you have emotional intelligence? Well, as a personality channel, there are 16 personality types. Each one shows emotional intelligence a little differently. An unhealthy version and a healthy version, and what does that look like? Of each type. Now, of course, there being 16, we have a lot to cover. You might be an introvert, awesome, but there are 8 different types of introverts. Did you know that? That's where emotional intelligence comes in. One introvert is very different than another. And for the extroverts. So let's jump after it. If you don't know how cognitive stacks work, that's okay. Figure out your Myers-Briggs and it'll tell you the cognitive stack. Then look for that 5th function. It'll have a 2-letter code. That is your superpower. If you heed that code, do what it tells you, you are considered healthy, have emotional intelligence. If you don't, well, then you kind of fall apart in life. Everybody has that little crutch that we rely on, or that fairy, Navi, like Zelda fans have. Jiminy Crickets. A conscience, that voice in your head that says, you should do this. Not everybody's the same. It's not one of those, oh yeah, I just wake up 4 in the morning, go to the gym. Well, yeah, I do, but that's how that doesn't work for everybody. See how it's like, oh yeah, rah, rah, rah. It's not gonna work for everybody. Here's how yours shows up for your personality. I suggest you figure out what yours is before watching this so that yours will make sense. But anyway, there's 16 personality types and 8 cognitive stacks. There are 2 at a time that share per personality, but they show up a little differently for each, but I'll go through that. So fasten your emotional ear belts and let's get to it. ENFJs and ESFJs both share FI, ally nemesis. This function is if you do it, you're great. If you don't, you fall apart. It's called the coin flip function or the ally nemesis function. For the ENFJs and ESFJs, it's FI. They tend to be very selfless, being FE dominant, meaning that they care about external feeling, EF, right? FE. Naturally, you can see what FI is in response. It's an inner feeling, a selfish function. I feel like this, therefore I'm going to do this. FI users do things how they feel in the moment. But ENFJs and ESFJs are very selfless. They're so focused on their group of people that they're trying to help and give love to. Extroverted feeling. So if they take more time for themselves, an ENFJ and ESFJ will be better off in life. They'll take better care of themselves, all the while helping other people. Remember, self-care in this case is their Jiminy Cricket. Acknowledging their own feelings will help these 2 particular personalities in general live a more whole, healthy life. That gives them emotional intelligence because they're more in tune with themselves, not with what they're trying so desperately to help other people with. So now let's flip that function and call that the FE. Those who are naturally selfish focus on how they feel all the time. If they focused more on other people, they would be much better off in life. If they don't, they're considered selfish, very skittish, very self-focused, and just not a pleasure to be around. These 2 are obviously the INFP and the ISFP. You know somebody who's very aware of their surroundings and very scared somehow. It gets weird, but you know that they know. Yeah, you're probably talking to an IFP type. They like to be alone. They like to have that one person very close to them. You see how FE becomes like this strenuous, oh, I know I should care for more people, should consider other people's feelings more often rather than my own and how I feel all the time. Obviously, you can see how this is functioning for each type. We have 16 to cover, so let's keep going. Now let's talk about the thinking functions. This is a cold function. This is a very external version of thinking. Extraverted thinking, TE. Kind of switch the 2 letters there. Obviously, there's an introverted and an extroverted version of each, and there's 4 of them. Thinking, feeling, intuition, and sensing. So 2 times 4 is 8 into the 16 personality types. So now thinking, external thinking. This is an efficient function, a teaching function, a tantrum, let's get it done function. If the INTP and the ISTP do this, they are better off in life. They listen to their Jiminy Cricket, their conscience. The ISTP opens up that engine and says, you know what, this is how this works. Let me teach this to you patiently, ISTP. Those people naturally have this, let me do this on my own mentality. Don't touch me, don't talk to me. I'm gonna go hunting alone or with my one companion. INTP is very much like, oh, I know how this works. But if you don't share that, it's just knowledge is not power in this case. Wisdom is power, using that knowledge. Naturally, these 2 are TI dominant. TI being more like, self-truth or objective truth seeking. It's a research type of function, a smart thinking function, TI, introverted thinking. And now you can see that if they share that extroverted thinking, those 2 are much better off in life. So let's reverse that now and talk about the TI, ally nemesis function. Those who are naturally efficient and dominant. These 2 types of personalities are considered very efficient, very dominating personality types. The ENTJ and the ESTJ. Now they share this a little differently. ESTJs are very much like, this is how this is done, and they have this weird impatience vibe when they're trying to teach you something, because naturally they feel like they can take care of everything in life. You are just a stumbling block for them. They make really good lawyers and attorneys. Very sharp, very smart, very efficient. They will cut corners. They'll find the cheapest solution to do the biggest thing. ESTJs. ENTJs will find the most expensive solution for the most expensive thing because it doesn't matter because they have such a big vision. So naturally, you can see how both of these efficient types need to utilize logic and reasoning intelligence to back up all these things that they're trying to do. The ENTJ who just signs a contract because the ESTJ wrote it, well, what did that contract actually say, ENTJ? You need to look at those finer details because otherwise you don't know what you're signing. Look at Trump and all the people having him sign things right now. If he didn't know what he's signing, ENTJ, then the ESTJs who wrote up the contracts could take advantage of that. You see? Likewise, if an ESTJ is very staunch and adamant about something that they didn't research, but somebody said something to them, which is not likely, they're always going to take that time to research. That's why ESTJs are typically better ESTJs because of that research function, seeking for truth function. A lot of people get weird about the whole research versus seeking thing, whatever, semantics. It's the same idea of seeking for that intelligence, that understanding before taking action, rather than just being efficient all the time. I had a band manager at one point, and he had me wash the frickin' trailer that carried all of our instruments. And he was very much like, no, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Click. He was very adamant about how to clean the daggum trailer. Look, bro, we got a gig to do. I don't care how efficient the trailer was cleaned. See how that gets in the way of what they're trying to do? That wasn't smart, bro. I know you're trying to teach me something, but that makes me not like you because I'm not your type. Learn about other people, learn about how these things function. Now you're looking at feeling and how that calls into play. She did not address my feelings. I'm a musician and a singer. I don't need to be cleaning your trailer, bro. Stop trying to teach me how to clean that wax on, wax off. You're not funny. Do what you're good at, and I'll do what I'm good at. See how that kind of gets in the way? TI. Sorry if I'm being hurtful, but these are real life experiences. Thinking functions can be very cold to a feeler type. But let's move on. I think you get the gist about how these are working. You guys liking this one? This is a pretty good one. How long is it? Oh man, halfway through already. Sensory functions. These are very extroverted sensing. Here and now. Can I touch it? Can I see it? Can I feel it? Do I notice it in the environment? It's happening very quickly. Obviously, me moving around is very SE. It's very, wow, it's very sensory. And somebody who does not do that is considered unhealthy. ISFJs and ISTJs. Now, their stereotypes are a little different. ISFJs are so aware of what's happening around them that they overcompensate. A nurse who's very caretaking, doesn't take care of themselves, very routine-based. They make fantastic receptionists. And if they get pushed to the wall, they will take over the entire task. ISFJs will do that. ISTJs will say, well, you should have blanked your slate. They get very blamey otherwise. ISTJs will get very mopey, very quiet, and very They have higher expectations. We call it the ISTJ pouting. ISFJs don't really pout, they just kind of take over. Because an ISFJ will feel that the group will be unhappy if the thing didn't get done, so they take over. Which is a fantastic person to have on your team. You always want an ISFJ on your team. By the way, they are the most popular personality types, but to find a healthy one is very hard. Again, their function is SE. So an ISFJ who will actually take care of the moment, then they're better off. But remember, they are both gossipers, especially the ISFJ. But an ISTJ will pout, and that makes them very unhealthy. An ISTJ who's lost in their head, lost in their routine, is not present, and that makes an ISTJ very unhealthy. Same for the ISFJ, because routine and duty is SI, and presence and living in the moment is SE. So they don't naturally do that. They like it to be very consistent. Breaking that consistency once in a while to live in the moment is very spontaneous and fun. You need to be reminded of that, ISJs. That's what I'm here for. Now we have the opposite of that, which is SI. These are people who do not naturally want to live by routine. We love to live in the moment. Obviously, the reverse of that is NI, the big picture plan, which we don't have. We love to live in the moment. I have no idea what this video is going to turn out to, what's going to happen, and what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. I literally have no idea. I don't want to plan. That shows my unhealthy side being an SI version of this. My coin flip function is introverted sensing. And you're seeing it right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I live in the moment as long as I can. It's very difficult for an SI coin flip to transition. We get stuck in what we're doing. SE, dominance, ESTP, and ESFP are doing something now. Very much now. It's happening. It makes us really good entertainers, very good at sales, very good at being flashy, because flashiness and all that is happening now. Right now. And so I don't care what happens in the next 5 minutes. I don't care. Whatever happens, happens. I'm going to handle it. We're both P personalities. But as you can see, without a routine, without structure, we can easily fall apart. So now you know our weaknesses, eh? It's very fun. Okay, moving on. So we've covered extroverted thinking, introverted thinking, sensory, introverted, extroverted, feeling. Okay, the last bits is intuition. Intuition, as it is as a whole, is a very gut feeling. But there's an introverted version and an extroverted version of each. So now you've got yourself a conundrum, eh? Let's look at the scattered function, the NE version. This is the thing that says, oh yeah, I didn't consider that one, did you? Really? You're considering options. And those who are too locked into the future, the one thing, the one path, the one plan, didn't consider that, did you? Uh-oh, shut it down, restart the program. Obviously, these are NI dominants, the opposite of NE, but the same family, they're both intuitive, right? INFJs and INTJs. So focused on the future. For others, INFJ, and for themselves, INTJ, or what's efficient rather, doesn't make them selfish or selfless by this function alone. That's where this healthy function comes in. If the INTJ would have considered that, they wouldn't have to have reset. As an architect, well, this can be, okay, interesting. There's a healthy INTJ. Stereotypically architect, right? INFJ, you know what? If they behave that way, I have a backup plan for this. I know what can happen here. And the INFJ would not have to have any form of door slam because they thought of what else could happen. Running out of time, so let's jump to NI. The NI coin flips are those who consider too many options at all times. Obviously, they don't have a focus. where to put all of these things that they connected already. These ideas, these thoughts, these conspiracy theories, any kind of theories. The crazy ENP types, ENTP and ENFP. These guys are nuts, they're loco, in a fun way, or they can be. If you're considering all the options, but you never put it together and actually implement it, and you're just stuck because somebody's toast scattered and considering so many different things, you never do anything. You're considered a pie in the sky. Somebody who has big picture ideas, but never does anything with it. Can't seem to put it together. You can see it all. Oh, what about this? I know this person, ENFPs. This means this, and that actually is connected to that. Oh my gosh, it's all coming together. The world really is flat. No, whatever, fill in the blank. If you believe that, then put together a committee. An ENP type that is organized with a vision is powerful. Crap 'em at a time. What'd you think? Yeah.